Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLESFANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. I have some intriguing updates that could shake up the entire NFC East and potentially set a new course for the Philadelphia Eagles' upcoming season. And no, it's not just about what's happening with the Eagles themselves, but about the ripple effects across the division, especially with some key players and management decisions that might just redefine the balance of power. So, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you is packed with insights, context, and some real behind-the-scenes takes that you won't want to miss. Let's start with the big picture. The Philadelphia Eagles, as many of you know, have been building something special over the past few seasons. From their Super Bowl run in the 2022 season to their consistent playoff appearances, the Eagles have established themselves as a powerhouse in the NFC. But as we all know, the NFL is a league where change is constant, and the offseason is perhaps the most unpredictable time of all. We've seen teams make bold moves, trade star players, and sign big contracts, all in the pursuit of that elusive Super Bowl title. And this offseason, the Eagles are no different. They've been strategic, aggressive, and focused on maintaining their competitive edge. However, what's happening on the other side of the division right now is truly fascinating. Recently, the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team with a rich history and a defense that's always been formidable, has been making some waves in the NFL news cycle. And it's all centered around their star linebacker, TJ Watt. For those of you who follow the Steelers, you know Watt is a game changer. Since entering the league, he's been a dominant force on defense, accumulating sacks, pressures, and disrupting offenses at an elite level. But here's the catch: Watt is now in a tricky spot. His contract situation is becoming a major talking point. Earlier this offseason, Pittsburgh made a bold move by trading for DK Metcalf, one of the league's most explosive receivers. They immediately signed him to a lucrative extension, signaling their commitment to building around young talent. But that move also raises questions about how the Steelers are prioritizing their cap space and whether they're willing to pay their star players what they deserve. And interestingly, while Watt was watching these developments, he was also contemplating his own future. Rumors have been swirling that multiple teams have shown interest in trading for Watt, especially given his recent absence from minicamp, and some hints that he might not be entirely happy with his current contract. Now here's where things get really interesting. According to reports from ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Steelers have recently acquired Jalen Ramsey in a trade with the Miami Dolphins. Ramsey, as you all know, is one of the top cornerbacks in the league, and his signing is a clear signal that Pittsburgh is serious about bolstering their defense. But what's more significant is that the Steelers are taking on the bulk of Ramsey's $6 million salary, a hefty investment. This move could be a signal that the Steelers are shifting their focus toward a more aggressive, win-now mentality, which might not bode well for players like Watt, who are entering the final year of their contracts and are seeking long-term security. And folks, this is where we start connecting the dots. TJ Watt, who turned 30 this October, has been a cornerstone of Pittsburgh's defense since he was drafted in 2017. His relentless pursuit of quarterbacks and his ability to disrupt defenses have earned him multiple Pro Bowls and All-Pro selections. But as he gets older and watches some of his contemporaries, like Myles Garrett, cash in big with long-term lucrative deals, it's natural for him to start questioning his value. Garrett, for example, secured a 4-year, $160 million extension from the Cleveland Browns, making him one of the highest-paid edge rushers in the league. Watt, on the other hand, is approaching what many would consider his last chance at a massive payday. With the Steelers' recent moves, especially their investment in Ramsey and the overall shift in their roster-building philosophy, Watt's situation is becoming more precarious. If he feels that Pittsburgh isn't willing to meet his financial expectations, he could very well be contemplating a move elsewhere. And that's where the drama heats up. Because, as many of you know, Watt has been a vital part of the Steelers' defense, but he's also been vocal about his desire for a new contract that reflects his impact on the field. Let's not forget that Watt's current deal runs out after the season, which means this could be his last year in Pittsburgh unless an agreement is reached. The Steelers have always been a team that values loyalty, but in the NFL, the business side often takes precedence. If Watt feels sidelined or undervalued, he might push for a trade or even consider testing free agency. And in a league where pass rushers are paid like franchise quarterbacks, Watt's value on the open market could skyrocket if he hits free agency, especially given his resume and production. Now I want to pause here for a moment. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Philadelphia Eagles news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Because what's unfolding with Watt isn't just about one player and one team, it's about the broader implications for the NFL, and more specifically, for the NFC East. Imagine a scenario where Watt ends up leaving Pittsburgh, and let's say he's traded to a team like the Eagles. Think about the impact that would have a pass rusher of Watt's caliber coming to Philadelphia, adding even more firepower to an already fearsome defense. The Eagles, as many of you know, have been building a dominant squad on both sides of the ball, with Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, and a secondary that's improving every year. But adding a player like Watt would elevate their pass rush in ways that could make opposing quarterbacks tremble. And if the Eagles can maintain their offensive strength, with Jalen Hurts at the helm and a talented receiving core, they could be even more unstoppable. But of course, all of this hinges on whether Watt decides he's ready to move on, or if the Steelers decide they're willing to trade him before the season begins. It's a delicate dance, and it's one that could escalate quickly. If Watt feels that Pittsburgh isn't giving him the respect he deserves, he might push for a trade, and the Eagles could be at the top of the list, given their current cap space, their need for a dominant pass rusher, and their desire to stay competitive after their recent Super Bowl appearance. Meanwhile, the Steelers are making some bold moves. Trading for Ramsey, investing heavily in their defense, signals they're not backing down from their ambitions. They want to contend now, and they're willing to make big moves to do it. That's a message to the rest of the league. Pittsburgh is serious about competing, and they're not afraid to shake things up. But it also means they might have to make tough decisions about their star players, especially if the market starts to demand high prices for players like Watt. And I want to give you a bit of context here. The NFL offseason is a period of anticipation, rumors, and strategic moves. Teams are trying to build their rosters for the long haul, but they're also trying to win now. The tension between maintaining cap flexibility and signing star players is always present, and this year, that tension is more evident than ever. For the Eagles fans listening, think about how this could impact your team. If Watt or another star linebacker becomes available, the Eagles might need to act fast, because the opportunity to add a game-changing player doesn't come around often. Now, looking back at the Eagles' recent history, we see a team that's constantly evolving. From their Super Bowl victory in 2017, led by coach Doug Peterson, to their recent NFC Championship appearance, the Eagles have shown resilience and a knack for developing talent. Jalen Hurts has emerged as one of the league's top quarterbacks, and their young core, including players like Jordan Davis and Devonta Smith, is only getting better. The front office has been aggressive in free agency and the draft, always aiming to put their best foot forward. But adding a player of Watt's caliber would take their defense to an entirely new level, giving opposing offenses nightmares. And speaking of the current season, the Eagles are entering it with high expectations. The NFC East is more competitive than ever, with the Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, and Washington Commanders all looking to make their mark. The Cowboys have one of the best defenses in the league, and the Giants have invested heavily in their roster, while Washington is always a threat with their talented defense and a developing offense. The Eagles, of course, want to defend their division crown and push deep into the playoffs. To do that, they need to be smart in the offseason, and perhaps some of these rumors about Watt or other star players are a sign that the Eagles should stay alert and ready to pounce on opportunities. Also, let's not forget the coaching staff. Head coach Nick Sirianni has been a revelation, installing an aggressive, high-powered offense and a disciplined defense. Defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon has done a great job transforming the Eagles' defense into a formidable unit. But adding a player like Watt would be a strategic masterstroke, giving them a pass rusher who can line up on either side and create chaos for offensive lines. The Eagles' front office has shown a willingness to make bold moves, and this could be the offseason where they make a statement. In the broader NFL landscape, what's happening with Watt and the Steelers is part of a larger trend. Teams are realizing that to reach the pinnacle, they need stars on both sides of the ball, and sometimes that means making tough decisions about trades or contracts. The NFL's salary cap and the rising salaries of top-tier players make every move critical. Watch for other teams to get involved in the Watt saga, especially if the Steelers decide to listen to trade offers. Now, for the fans of the Eagles, what does all this mean? It's simple: be prepared for a roller coaster offseason. The team's management is always looking for ways to get better, and if a star like Watt becomes available, you can bet your last dollar that Howie Roseman and his staff will be on the front line, making calls, negotiating, and trying to secure that game-changing player. The defense, which has already been improved with draft picks and free agent signings, could get even more dangerous. And with the NFC East as competitive as it is, every little upgrade could be the difference between a division title and an early playoff exit. The bottom line here is that the NFL offseason is a chess game, and the moves being made right now could have ripple effects for years to come. For the Eagles, staying aggressive and ready to act is key. Whether it's via trade, free agency, or draft day, the team's front office will be looking for ways to strengthen their roster. And the story of TJ Watt's future, whether he stays in Pittsburgh or moves elsewhere, will undoubtedly be one of the biggest headlines this offseason. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Philadelphia Eagles. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Philadelphia Eagles news. We're in an exciting time, and every rumor, every move could shape the course of your favorite team's future. Keep that passion alive, and let's see what the offseason has in store for us all. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, go Birds.